to Build for Health, where we pull back the curtain on what it takes to build a strong, healthy body and a fitness routine that sticks. I'm Pete Wright, right here, Srdjan Inyats. Today, we are going to be doing Programming 102, I guess.
Yes.
All right, we had questions after our Programming 101 course show that we were talking about that came in, and you said, we were going to read them last week, and you said, no, we could do a show on this. So here we are.
Talk about more about that. Yeah.
Let's start with can we start with the easy ones?
Yeah.
Which is,
let's see.
How do you program? I don't know if this is easy. I don't know anything about what we're about to talk about. So who am I to judge? How do you program for strength when your goals are primarily aesthetic, or does that distinction even matter?
The distinction matters less than most people think. So the strength and aesthetic overlap a lot because the training that makes you stronger. So progressive overload on the big compound lifts also build the muscle density and shape that improve your physique. So if your primary goal is aesthetic, then you can still train like a strength athlete as your foundation. Focus on getting stronger is key lifts, then adding hypertrophy work to bring up specific muscles. So no, it's like it doesn't really matter. So just like a strong aesthetic focused plan usually includes, heavy compound lifts in low rep range to drive the strength.
Okay.
And the hypertrophy work in the higher reps range, to shape and balance your physique. So progressive overload across all lifts, it's the same. So you can program the strength even when aesthetics are your main goal, because getting stronger is one of the most, reliable ways to improve your physique.
Okay. All right. Okay. So now we get into the big compound question that came in that we'll just start. I'm going to read the whole thing and then we'll break it into parts. Okay. What do you do if you miss a week mid-cycle? Do you pick up where you left off or restart the phase? Also, can you run two different periodization styles at the same time, say linear for legs and non-linear for upper body? And also, smiley face, how do you know when you're ready to graduate from beginner linear programming to something more advanced? And I will add, what is more advanced? So that's where we stand. It's the bulk of what we want to talk about. Let's start at the beginning. What do you do if you miss a week? Do you pick up where you left off or restart the phase? How do you handle that?
No, the week doesn't really change anything. You're not really gonna lose much progress or strength or muscle mass anything in a week. If you aren't sick or just drained, then pick up exactly where you left off. So like I said, the 1 week is not long enough to lose that meaningful strength. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're sick or if you're injured or, stress repeated like the previous weeks before moving forward would be good, because then you really didn't focus on really food and hydration and all that stuff. And if, you miss more than 2 weeks, then I would kind of back up 1 or 2 weeks in the program and then start from there just to kind of rebuild what you gained before that. So 1 week doesn't really matter, again, unless you're like really sick and you really couldn't do anything, or you couldn't even eat properly, couldn't get enough sleep and all that stuff. So you might be just drained from that to kind of, usually after coming back from getting sick, it takes a little bit to kind of get back into that full mode. But just 1 week, you're not going to really lose much. Otherwise, if you feel like you lost a little bit of strength or, you missed more than 2 weeks, I would go back previous week, what you did before moving forward. So repeat that and then just start from there. But 1 week, you're fine. It's just, you're probably really well recovered.
Leads right into the next piece. Can you run two different periodization styles at the same time? Say linear for legs and non-linear for upper body. How do you break that down? What would that look like?
Well, yes, you can. Like many advanced athletes do. Like I do that. You can, focus on multiple things at the same time. Like you can do, strength emphasis for lower body while you're working on hypertrophy emphasis for upper body, So that's what we call the concurrent periodization.
Mm-hmm.
So what that is actually, it means training multiple, physical qualities at the same time within the same week or the training cycle, you would say. So example of that would be, strength, hypertrophy, power, endurance, things like that. So instead of focusing on just one quality per training block, you develop several qualities together at the same time, right? And I think it's pretty useful if your goals, different domains, strength and muscle. That's usually kind of what my programs are. I want to get strength, but I also want to see some muscle growth.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the different body parts progress best with different approaches. And, if you want more balanced physique and, so yeah, you can do both. And I mean, athletes in many sports use this approach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can definitely, depending what your goal is. I've had the trainings where, I focus on the certain muscle groups because I maybe wanted to get a bigger shoulders, but I wanted to keep everything else the same because I was going more for symmetry. I felt maybe my arms were too big compared to my shoulders. And while working on that, I also wanted to work on my muscle endurance, so you can do multiple things, and that's completely fine. And it works pretty well. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
definitely.
It's okay.
Yes, it's totally okay.
Crack open the
Many of us
spreadsheet,
do
start
that.
tracking. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. So how do you know that maybe this is the biggest question? How do you know when you're ready to graduate from beginner linear programming to something more advanced?
You were saying what's the advance, right?
Yeah, what the hell is advanced? It's all of this is advanced to me. I'm a rube, so take it slow.
It just taken to the next level. So if you understand what the beginner linear progression is, it's the simplest and fastest way for the new lifters to get stronger. So you do the same core lifts each workout, and every session you add a low weight to the bar. That's why it's called linear, meaning it goes up in a straight line, right? So as a beginner, your body adapts so quickly that you can make progress every single workout, right? So it's pretty straightforward, it's predictable, and it's extremely effective for several months of training. So after that, you progress and you can add weight every. Once you can add more weight every single workout, then the next step is moving to a program where the progress week to week instead of the session to session, and this is usually called intermediate programming. And it normally includes slightly more volume, weekly jumps in the weight instead of daily ones. Then you look at more weekly. So just more variation to keep progress moving. So yeah, but you'll know when to graduate. You'll feel like you can't really add any more weight to the session. Your technique remains consistent, but progress kind of stalls anyway, and then you need 2-3 full days to recover from a normal workout, or your lifts require more warm up.
Well, I just noticed coming back, so I was out for 2 weeks or something because of a stupid injury, and coming back, we did legs on Tuesday, and I just want to say, mazel, I was today has been brutal. I've been so sore, like sore,
Okay,
like
good.
before I was like when we've just started working out. I feel like a little old man wandering around my house, just like trying to lift each leg.
Yeah. That's how
Which is
you want to be sore. You want to
yeah,
feel
but
that soreness like, yeah.
but before I left, before I took a little break, I was it would just take a lot to be sore for like 2 straight days. Like I was feeling like I was able to do more and not be as sore as long.
Yeah, because that's when you need to make some changes and you have to shake things up,
Yeah.
you know. So then you have to sometimes shock the muscle, and you don't really have to change every day like a different or add more weight. And now you have to, because you can't really add more weight every day. Now you stick with the same workout for a week, and then you change the exercises, the order in which you do exercises. You kind of shock the muscle. That's why when you come in every time, I try to do something a little bit different, because I ask you, are you sore from the last workout? Because if you are, then whatever we did last time
was
works.
good.
It was good, so I don't need to change anything now. We can keep in that because you're still sore. And then next week, we're like, oh, I wasn't really that sore. Okay, it's been a week. Now we can change something.
Okay, so
the volume and all that stuff. You'll definitely know when you're ready for the change, because at the beginning, everything's going to be probably even everything's going to be hard. And it's really easy to see the progress those first 2-3 months. So I would change, probably start changing things after maybe 3 months. Usually that's when you're ready to kind of move into a different program, or, because your body starts getting used to the same thing over and over again, and then shake things up. Because this is how the rule is whenever people start coming in and might get clients and they ask, when am I going to see the results? And, how does this work? So usually say the first week, your body's like trying to figure out what it's going through, and then whatever you do is just responding to everything. You're sore all the time. Everything hurts. The next week, the next month, after 2 months, you start feeling the difference. Like you start feeling stronger and stronger, like every week, every day. And then you're getting better sleep, or now you're also more hungry. So you start feeling the results. And then after the 3rd week, you start seeing, because we say you feel it before you see it. Right. And then, but of course, that's also considering that your diet is on point and all that stuff. You have to be good at that end too. So, but then you're going to start seeing the results. So you'll definitely know when you kind of need to change things up. And then after that 3rd month, you start seeing low definition, the shoulders and the arms and your legs and your back and all that stuff, right? That's when your body going to start getting used to that stress that you keep putting on your body, right? And then you're like, okay, now I feel like I can do more. I can go a little bit longer. I can put, instead of going 3 sets, maybe I can do 4 sets, and, mixing things up. Now you're ready to move from that beginner stage and then go more into advanced. So,
okay, let's just refresh. You've said a number of times, it's time to shock the muscle. For those who haven't heard you use that term, can you define what it means to shock the muscle at that point?
Your body kind of, because you hit that plateau and your body gets used to doing the same thing over and over again, and it almost knows and expects, it knows what's coming. And then you don't really feel like you're getting much out of that workout, and you really are not that sore anymore, right? So you had to change things up. Sometimes it helps to just, when I say shock the muscle, also change complete workout. Sometimes I'll come in and I was like, okay, yesterday I was saying how today I was going to do arms. And then right before the workout, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to do legs. and it's something totally unexpected. Sometimes I have to trick my mind. I feel like, and I did completely legs, and I did, and it was a short workout. It was a quick and out workout, but uh, it hit pretty well. So I was feeling it. So I just not just it shocked my mind, like also surprised myself. That's how you kind of surprise the muscle, because I'm used to, if I'm doing whatever workout, my back or my chest, and you kind of do the same exercise, same order over and over again. That's when you shock the muscle. You switch the exercises, you change the order that you do. Now you go maybe a little bit more heavy than you did the first week. And so that's kind of how you shock the body, shock the muscle, we say, just so you kind of start actually feeling not the soreness and,
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, I feel like the constituent elements to shock the muscle, so far in working with you, have been coming in and expecting you to give me a certain set of exercises when we do, say, arms or shoulders or chest or whatever, and you give me completely different exercises that I've never heard before, and they're very confusing, or just in this experience of having to move so slowly is just changing the way I have to focus on isolation and patience. That has been a massive shock, and it's almost more of a calorie burn for my brain than an exercise of building muscle for my body. It's really hard. I come out of these things more tired than I was before I was dealing with this stuff.
Yeah, and that's the challenge. That's what I like about it. That's my challenge, and I'm like, okay, I gotta shock the muscle. I gotta get you to feeling this so exhausted and tired after a workout. You give everything you got. Like I've tried to get 110% out of you every time, and I kind of know already what you like, what you don't like, and what your comfort zone is, what not, and trying to give you kind of shock the muscle, shock your body, doing something that you're not expecting or you're not used to, or something that now your body needs to get used to, a different kind of stress. And doesn't matter if it's more weight or if it's more requiring the balance or core or stuff like that. So it can be different ways, that you can do that.
That's the thing. I never would have guessed, because my very simple understanding is when you move on to something more advanced, it's just like, oh, it must be heavier. And that's what I'm hearing is it's not heavier. That's not the point.
No, it's not. That's not, doesn't mean always you have to go heavier and more weight and more weight and more weight. It's not. Sometimes the order of the exercise that you do, and like the supersets, sometimes you will combine these two different exercises. I hit the same muscle group, but just from a different angle, and then, or maybe doing the same exercise, but now not on the machine, but where you actually doing with the dumbbells, where you have to include your core more and you challenge your core and stabilizers more. Or, a lot of people, I don't see a lot of people using the bands, and I love the bands. And sometimes I'll go to like a different gyms and I'll work out, and I don't really see that they have that many bands, and people use them. Like, the bands are great, and I'll like use it for like chest press. Sometimes we'll add the band, and usually people are like, oh, so why are you adding that? What does that do? Have anything to do with it? Stuff like that. And then when I explain the what it does and the overload and things like that, then it's like, oh my God, I never thought about that. So there's different ways, different things. You just kind of gotta think outside the box sometimes, and that way you can shock. So it doesn't always have to be heavy, because if you keep focusing so much heavy, at one point you might go too heavy and then not have the best form and get hurt and get injured. And so there are different ways that you can challenge your body.
Yeah. At some point, gravity will have words with you.
Yeah. It will win at one point.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Not always heavier. Shock the muscle. Lots of good ways to just think about how you are approaching your progress in building strength. And that's the important lesson I think I'm taking away, is just to think more, just be clever about it. There are lots of ways to improve and to move through the expert
and
cycle.
you'll know once you graduated from the beginner, you'll feel like you're ready to do more. You already got the form down and you understand everything now. It just becomes a little too easy, too predictable, and now you can go to a different type of training.
Yeah. This is great. Thanks. Keep those questions coming in. We've got a couple more that are on the list for a future episode. But we're ready. Load us up. Just swipe up in your show notes. There's a link that says submit a question to the show. That's how you get it on the list. It's very, very easy. It's very, very easy. We're so glad you're able to join us today. If you've got any questions about training or recovery or how to stop chasing quick fixes, just tap on that link. And don't forget to subscribe and share. That's how we grow stronger together. Thanks for listening to Build for Health. On behalf of Srdjan Inyats, I'm Pete Wright. We'll see you right back in the gym next week.